And from your time at Leicester as well, as an experienced senior pro, how much of that can you impart on some of the younger players? Because it's been noticeable that, you know, you being back fit, Willie Hines being back fit as well, has just added an extra sort of level to Gloucester's, I suppose, composure at key moments as well.
Cheers for the compliment. It's dealing with pressure, isn't it? And you know, I've had a lot of experience with pressure at the top of the table, which has been great in my career. And now there's a different sort of pressure being at the bottom. But either way, it's pressure. And I think it's trying to get everyone to understand that, you know, that pressure's always going to be on you, regardless of whether you're at the top, whether you're at the bottom, whether you're in the middle of the table. I think expectations on this club from supporters and, you know, the passion there is around seeing Gloucester do well. There's always a pressure involved in playing on a Saturday. So it's imparting, you know, how you can deal with that process. And for us, it's you know, very much an inward process, looking at ourselves. There's not a lot we can do to control the opposition. You can look at them and find trends and habits and those bits and pieces. But what we have to focus on is, you know, how can we improve in training? You know, what are the bits that we're not quite nailing, and that focus week to week. You know, it does help that the results have been close. You know, if we've been dealing with 50, 20-point losses week in, week out, it's very hard. It'll be very difficult to look at where to start with. But with close results, you know, it gives us something to target specifically, you know, one or two things. And so I think that's where we're trying to add value as experienced lads, is to kind of less about the pressure and just keep looking at ourselves and our preparation each week, and hopefully we'll get ourselves out of this position.
I wonder what your thoughts are on Lewis Ludlow's style of captaincy. Obviously, it's a job that you've done a lot in the past, and I suppose, you know, Lewis's try last weekend, I mean, a real captain's try, but how much is he just sort of a lead by example type?
Oh, I think 100% Luds is, you know, first and foremost, his performance on the pitch speaks for itself. And I can't give him enough credit for the way he's put himself out there the last few weeks, because it's not easy, you know, especially you forget Luds is still quite young. You know, he's 24, 25. It's a big responsibility. It's a similar age I was when I took over the club captaincy at Leicester, so I can relate to him a lot. And it's when you're a captain, it's all about performance. You know, you have to lead from the front, and I think he's a mile ahead actually in his performances at the moment from everyone else. He really stands out, which is great as a leader, as a captain. And you know, just I think for him, my little bit of advice is always, you know, don't worry, sweat over the small stuff. You know, my learning from being in his position in the past was, you kind of want to look at everything as club captain. You think you're responsible for kind of everyone and everything, but actually he hasn't done that. He worries about his performance first and foremost and drags everyone with him, which is, you know, the best trait of a captain, I think.
And Worcester this weekend, how big is the opportunity there to, I suppose, not just close the gap, but also lay down a marker? Because, if you like, they've got some points for free because of games being off with COVID. Yeah,
that stuff's out of our control, the COVID stuff, you know, and it, you know, looking at Worcester, it's not their fault, you know, whether they've been awarded points for a win or a loss, whatever. Those things, it's the world we live in at the moment. So I think the focus is less on, you know, if we're looking at the table the whole time, how many points do we need to chase that team or this team? You can get a little bit lost in that. Obviously, we need to win. You know, that's what we're here to do. We need to win the game. And so, how much of that other stuff is in our control? Not a lot. So, you know, we'll take the stuff that went wrong against Bath and try and correct that. And each week, but as I say, we've got massive belief in the direction we're going in. And we just want to get that win and try and kick on from there. So that's our focus for the weekend.